I am here in the beautiful Palmerston North, New Zealand. Let's have a talk. Today I want to have a conversation about fear. My sister and I have talked about this topic, something that I think people maybe even underestimate. And I believe that fear is the core or root of all evil things in the world. So for instance, the root of things like hate and anxiety is fear. Hate would be the fear of the unknown, the fear of other people that you don't really know anything about, so you automatically assume that they are bad. And anxiety, which would be the fear of the future, whether it be the immediate future or the end, death, that far into the future. I think that in both cases, fear is what drives anxiety. And fear is something that you can completely eradicate in your life by living in the present moment always, and instead of living in the future or living in the past, you can eliminate things like guilt and regret and anxiety. And by eliminating fear of the unknown, to stop having faith in things that you can't see. You can't see what's actually going on in these other people's lives for the most part. So how can you fear them, and then how can you hate them when you don't know them? So I think that living in the present state, living in the now, and living in wherever you are can help eliminate these fears. When it comes to hate in particular, there's no reason to hate anyone, even if they are evil in your eyes, because evil is strengthened by hate and weakened by love, and good is strengthened by love and weakened by hate. So by hating, you're weakening love and strengthening evil. You're contributing to the evil in the world. So I think that loving all beings unconditionally can kind of drive out that hate and fear, and kind of put a basis on your morals in your life. Your basis of morals is to love all beings. Then instead of going to the negative mindset for things that you don't know, you stay positive. So you assume the best in all people, and you assume the most positive future because you base it on the fact that you love all living beings, and that puts you in that positive mindset that can kind of drive fear out of your life and help you live happily in the present moment. Another way that fear can kind of be tricky in the way that it influences our lives is the fear of judgment of others. And this fear in particular is what drives things like the need to pursue money and material things in order to impress others, that we may be in fear of them not liking us or judging us or not respecting us, or any of those things that are judgments of others upon us. And that fear drives us to chase material things or things that don't really matter in our lives, and pushes us more away from that basis to love all living things, including ourselves. And that's first and foremost. When you love yourself unconditionally, you don't need to impress others to be happy. You don't need to chase material things, or you don't need to chase money to be happy, because the basis of loving yourself is all you need to be happy. Once you've loved yourself, then you can contribute to society by showing love to others. instead of just knowing that you have love for all beings, you can start showing it and expressing it. And when you love yourself, that radiation that you have of love from you starts affecting the people around you, and it spreads. So I think once you drive that fear out, then all of a sudden you're spreading love to those around you, and ultimately making yourself happier and making the world a better place. So I think, going back again, that fear is not only the root of all evil, but it's what's holding back everyone from being happy and from showing love, is that fear that others are judging you for it, or that you're not good enough to show it, or that you need these outside affirmations, but you don't. And the fear of that is what's holding you back from realizing that you are everything that you need to be, and that you can be the person you're meant to be, and love yourself for that, and show love to others, and ultimately contribute to the society in the way that you've always hoped to. You can do that. Everyone can do that. And all they have to do is eradicate the fear in their lives. I think that this topic is kind of something that should be talked about more, instead of just saying stop being scared, or even when you're talking to children, saying that don't be scared of this, or don't be a crybaby, or this and that. It's usually adults. The things that fear adults are driven by those childish fears, and end up becoming much more serious and leading to things like depression and anxiety. We need to, as a society, teach to the younger generations that there's nothing to be afraid of, and that love trumps fear, and fear drives these things that are undesirable in our society, like hate and anxiety and the pursuit of money. And I think ultimately all those things are also leading to a world where we put profits and self-worth in terms of material possessions ahead of things like the environment and the living conditions of other people. And all of these things, all of these problems in the world today are driven by fear. All of them. So I think if we can start to, God, there's mosquitoes everywhere. If we can start to eradicate fear in the youth of today, and show them, instead of just telling them that there's nothing to fear, and each one of us eliminating the fear in our lives to the most extent that we can, and then radiating love and compassion and all these things that are kind of weighed down by the fear in our lives, then we can start showing the younger generations what we can be as a society and how far the human race can go. And our potential is so much higher than what people think it is. And we're constantly getting better and better. And we need to stop buying into the fear-mongering in the media and in politics and all these things, saying there's so many things to fear, and we need to be looking out for ourselves and not worrying about everyone else, because there's so many things to fear that we're not safe. And that's just not the case. You're going to have more problems putting fear in your life than you ever will dropping that fear and just living your life, because there's more deaths via suicide than there are terrorist attacks. So allowing that fear of the unknown to make you hate other people, or even an entire religion, because of a couple of events that affected your country. And while they're tragedies, letting that fear take you over is not going to do anything positive for the world. I think the most positive thing you could do is to show love to your enemy and not add to their fuel by hating them in return, because that's what they want. Ultimately, they want hate in return. That drives them to keep doing what they're doing. And again, that's all rooted in fear. So in closing, just live your life. Stop being afraid and embrace the present and love as much as you can, and you'll start seeing things like anxiety and depression just melt out of your life. And there's still going to be times when those things come back, but it's not going to be nearly as severe, and you're going to know how to control it because you've practiced this love and compassion and worked on pushing fear out of your life. So, yeah. Corey, what do you think?